Hello guys, welcome to this live stream. Welcome to this channel, welcome to this live stream. It's 10 p.m. in Russia, 12 p.m. in California, Los Angeles time. And yeah, traditionally we're gonna start with naming your country. So let me know where you're watching this from. I know in some countries it's already 12 p.m., 1 a.m. Thank you so much for joining late night. Yeah, I have noticed that the time on this webinar was a little wrong. So with the setup, it was 9:45 p.m., which is 15 minutes earlier than normal. I don't know why this happened, but here we are traditionally every Tuesday, 12 p.m. California time. I'm welcoming you on my channel. Yes, we have more than 100 already watching. Welcome, 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 guys. Today, I'm going to be talking about 10 reasons to study abroad, and the reason I'm going to be talking about 10 reasons about study abroad, because tomorrow I am flying to London, to the country that inspired me to do whatever I'm doing in my life. When I traveled to the UK for the first time, I'm like, oh my God, I want to connect my life with English language. I want to connect my life with traveling, because the world is so different. I was kind of stuck in my home country, in my hometown, and it's really beautiful. It's really unique. But at the same time, it's just one city. And I thought everything is just like here. Everything is like Russia, like St. Petersburg. And when I traveled abroad for the first time, when I traveled abroad for the first time, I was 12 and went to Finland for 2 days. I was so impressed. When I went to the supermarket to get some stationery for my school, I was like, oh my God, they have so many pens. They have so many small books. I was so impressed. But yeah. Welcome everyone who's joining. 170 people already watching. Thank you for joining. Let me see where you're watching this live stream from. Okay, here's my chat. And India, Spain, Germany, Italy. Italy, I'm coming in 3 weeks. Iran, Nepal, India. Hey, Oakland. Oakland, which is the neighbor city to San Francisco. Yes, welcome Oakland. I miss the Bay Area very much. Another month, so September, I'm still traveling in Europe, but 1st of October, I'm back in the United States. Peru, India, Algeria, Poland, Egypt, Uzbekistan. YouTube logo changed. I know. And do you see the changes in the red color? So I have MacBook Pro Retina display. And this red, it actually burns my eyes. Like, it's like watching at the sun. So I actually avoid watching at YouTube's logo. I don't know. Maybe I'm surprised how big companies actually changing their logos. Like, they make a small difference and then they're like, there's this whole new logo. Like Facebook, when it changed the font and it presented the new logo, like there's nothing really different, just the new font. And here with YouTube, yes, they're gonna misplace the logo button, and yeah, I think they changed the color because I think it's too bright for me. So right now I'm like, wow, too much. Okay, Ireland, Belgium, India, Brazil, wow, Korea, 4 a.m. in Korea. Oh my God, thank you so much. Recently, I've been really interested in the history of separation of North Korea from South Korea. Wow, this is such a hard story. Yeah, Korea, Jerusalem, St. Petersburg, my hometown, India, Colombia, Vietnam. Wow. As always, we have an amazing geography. You know, sometimes people ask me like, what is your geography on your American or English channel? I'm like, 30% Americans, and then I just don't know, then it's like hundreds of countries, which is amazing, which is like such a diversity. Okay, that's cool. Thank you so much. And yeah, as I said, tomorrow I'm traveling to London. I'm so excited because I'm flying my favorite airline in the world. I've never flown Emirates, but I know Emirates is an amazing one. But Swiss Airlines, can you imagine, like, you fly on an airplane and they serve you different kinds of cheese? I'm flying coach, like economy class. And they're gonna serve different kinds of cheese for lunch, and they're gonna serve amazing Swiss chocolate which melts in your mouth for lunch as well. I'm so excited. Like, I'm such a foodie person. I love eating. So yeah. So Korea is from Seoul. Yeah, I know. Not from North Korea. Yeah, like her smile is lovely. Thank you. São Paulo, Brazil. No, it's not first class. That's the most exciting thing. It's not first class. It's just economy. And Swiss Airlines, well, everything about Switzerland is high level, I guess. So yeah, really excited. We have a change in Zurich, and then so in St. Petersburg, Zurich, London. So yeah, I'm really excited. Guys, by the way, if you have any questions related to, so like if you have a question that you want me to answer, like really want me to answer, please follow the link below this video, and there you're able to ask a question using your social network. Why I'm doing that? Because on YouTube there is so many comments, because I want more interaction, and when you like to write down the country you're watching from, and sometimes I'm asking questions. So sometimes there are too many comments and I just miss the questions, but I really want to answer them. So if you have like a specific question for me today, there would definitely be time when I will just go through your questions, and please follow the link below this video and you're going to be able to ask it, and I won't be missing it. So in like 20 minutes or 30 minutes I will start answering questions there. So yeah, please don't forget to ask your questions. Yeah, Swiss Airlines is so good. Yeah. Yeah, Swiss chocolate. Yeah, you totally support me. Okay. Oh yeah, and what Italian city you're gonna visit? So I'm gonna spend a couple of days in Milan, and then so my friend is getting married. Do you know Como Lake? You probably know Como Lake. So somewhere in a village near Como, and I will be traveling around like different villages and different small towns around Como. I'm gonna travel with my mom, so I'm really excited. We're gonna do like spa tour, and I'm also gonna take some classes in local Italian schools because I miss my Italian so much. Okay, so study abroad. So my first study abroad experience happened when I was 14, because I won a scholarship in my school here in St. Petersburg, and they sent me to the UK for 2 weeks to learn English. And there are a couple of things that I love that I keep mentioning all the time. Like the first thing is that English that we learn at school is completely different from the real world language. And we're lucky today to have YouTube, but then we didn't have it. And when I arrived in the UK, they always ask you at the customs, why are you here? And I wasn't really able to understand what he told me. I'm like, school exchange, here's my letter, here's my ticket, I don't get what you're saying. And he tried to joke with me because he saw like a 14-year-old girl who's like totally scared and not getting anything. He was like, okay, let her go. That was funny. But yeah, one of the major changes I've seen in myself is like seeing different cultures and seeing different ways of life. Because I thought like when I grow up, I'm gonna own a small apartment in St. Petersburg, and then I have to work 9 to 6, and then I have to like save for a car, and my life is gonna be all like gray and dark. This is what I had like perception of life. But when I traveled to the UK, I was like, wow, life is so amazing. I can do whatever I want. I saw people like deciding not to go to the university, and for me it was like a taboo, like really not getting higher education. But when you're getting like to like, I think spiritually UK was much freer at that time compared to Russia, because Russia is still like regaining this freedom from the Soviet times, because during the Soviet times everything was like the same for everyone. So yeah, that was really inspiring, and I thought like, wow, I can do anything with my life. And this is one of the major changes that I think affected me to start my own company, because if I like followed the similar path like everyone does in Russia or did in Russia back then, like university and then work, and being scared to start something on your own, to deviate from that path, I would be missing so many things. So yeah, I would say this is like reason number one. See a different lifestyle, see a different way to live, and realize what you have in your country doesn't have to happen to you. You can choose whatever you want. You can travel out of your country, you can travel to another country, learn another language, and really change your life. So this was something I got when I was 14, and when I came back home, I was like almost crying, because I'm like, seriously, I'm back to my like four walls and back in my mind. But I tried to keep that mindset, try to keep that freedom inside my head, and I think that really helped in the future. So I think I will be doing like that. I will be naming a reason and then reading your comments. So we will be in touch. Okay. Can you tell us about studying in Russia? It's really different for any specialization. So I don't know about, like I studied economics and mathematics, and I still think that mathematics in Russia is like one of the strongest schools. And IT in Russia is one of the strongest. So Russia is really strong in IT, but it depends again where you study and how you study. Studying in Russia is great. Yeah. Again, depends on whatever you want to study. I don't know whether, like economics, there are some good schools, but I also think like in my university we had amazing maths, but economics, I wish it was a little more practical. I don't support any football club. Like I keep seeing this question about the football club I support. I don't. I'm like, a lot of people here ask questions for which they already know the answer. They just want Marine's attention. Thank you, Tom. But my understanding is some people sometimes they're too lazy to Google, and sometimes I see questions like, not like what's the capital of the United States, but sometimes like what's the maximum score on some exam, and it's so easy to Google that. Yeah, I think just people are generally lazy. It's okay. I don't. But this is why I'm here. Okay. Let me name you the second reason. Yeah, something we started to talk about, education. It's completely different. So when I compare, again, different countries, what I love about studying in the United States is that it's really practical. So if you're looking at lecturers and professors in the United States or in the UK, for example, you would realize that if they're teaching you finance, this means that they probably have like a stock exchange license, or maybe they work for a company that deals with finance. He has everyday practice and real life experience in what he's teaching. In Russia, we had a teacher who taught us finance, and she taught us the Soviet Union finance books, which is like Soviet Union had no finance. That is a little tricky, but at the same time, when I studied in Germany, when I came to the econometrics class, which was like econometrics 2, I was surprised. I've already learned that in Russia, and in Russia the explanation was so much better. Again, it depends on the teacher, but it's so interesting to compare different subjects and to compare ways of teaching in different countries. But all in all, I would say like there is no education that is 100% applicable. I think even if you're studying like in the United States in the most modern university, you still get a lot of knowledge that doesn't really help you in real life. It doesn't really help you start a company. Like they wouldn't tell you how to start a bank account in America, or they wouldn't tell you how to. Well, they would maybe tell you how to raise money from a VC. But I would say like there isn't 100% applicable education. I think education is mostly for you to, start training your brain, because you don't need all of that knowledge. You wouldn't like need to remember some formulas that you are learning. But what you're gonna need when you grow up, or when you when you graduate, what you're gonna need is this ability to think, this ability to be able to not ask a question, but to actually Google something, know the resources, and educate yourself. I think this is really important in all of education, like all of education systems. I think there is more emphasis on self-study in the West world. Have you seen the TV show, The West World? So there's more emphasis on self-study in the West world. In Russia, there is more emphasis on classwork. So we had a lot of lectures. We didn't have a lot of literature that we had to go through. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I'm not judging. I'm just claiming that, yeah, reason number 2 is different educational systems. And okay, let me see what questions we have. I'm going to check LinguaTrip's page for the questions that you didn't want me to miss. Okay, let me see. I'm going to take a couple. I wanted to ask you if it's possible to study in the United States without GMAT or GRE. Yes, it is. There are so many universities that do not require GRE from you. There are lower ranking universities like, I don't know, DeVry University. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's not like the best. There's also Hult Business School. So there are many schools that do not require GMAT or GRE. The only exam that we require is Toefl if you're a foreign student. But again, just think about studying in schools that do not require those, check their rankings, check whether they're good schools, whether it makes sense to pay for them to travel to the United States to study in those schools, because this is really your decision and this is your life. Another question is, if I score 1,300 on SAT and 100 plus in TOEFL, can I expect full tuition fee waiver? It depends on the school, but to my knowledge, like we have a couple of students that we're helping with admissions this year, and they have, I think, 1350 on SAT minimum for financial aid, but this is Florida International University. This is something that came up to my mind first. I think you will be safer if you have 1,400, so try to get 1,400 and try to take some SAT subjects. Like the best case scenario is when you have 1,400 on SAT general, then you have 2 subjects that are related to the subject that you're going to study. Like for example, if you want computer science, then take maths, 2 levels of maths in SAT subjects, and research the universities, make sure they actually provide financial aid, because sometimes they don't and you're just applying and like ending up paying or not paying the bill. Can you advise me how I can impress the professor while applying for master's degree? First, please remember that for master's degree, you don't have to contact the professor, and there's a really good chance he wouldn't really get back to you, because I tried reaching out to professors and asking them whether they would be interested in conducting research with me or whatever, and they didn't really answer. So don't do that. Don't waste your time. When you're doing a PhD, yes, it is worth contacting a professor, because PhD is when you work together with a professor. When we're talking about masters, it's mostly about studying, and yes, you're going to do your thesis, but it's like spend more time on trying to impress the admissions committee, because these are the people who make decisions, and the admissions committee is going to look at your standardized test scores. If it's masters, they're going to look at your GRE or GMAT. They're going to look at your TOEFL. They're going to look at your undergraduate GPA. And if we're talking about something extracurricular, I would say volunteering experience, but also a volunteering experience that changed your life. So something amazing you've done. Maybe like you've traveled for 1 year in different countries in Africa helping other people, or I don't know, again, depending on your country. So yeah, try to impress the admissions committee and research students who got admitted last year and see who you compare to them, and see how you can emphasize your portfolio, maybe with like extra years of work experience. Again, it really depends on the university. How to start a business with money and in America. I don't know, register a company if you have an idea that you think is going to work. Find a good lawyer who would help you register a company and start. With money and in America. I don't know, register a company if you have an idea. Okay, let's go to reason number 3. I'm actually going to shoot a video about reason number 3, which is like getting acquainted, taking in new cultures. So when I came to the UK, first, like, language is different. What they say like, they always like, I don't know, if you say rabbit in American, they're gonna say rabbit in Britain, and their accent is really like as if they're a little shy. But yeah, I'm gonna shoot a video about differences in American and British accent. I actually used to have British accent, but then when I traveled to the States, I realized it sounds really weird, so I'm like, I started switching. And also there are so many cultural things connected with that. Like, for example, if you write an email to a British person, so I work with partners from all over the world, and when I write an email to a person in Great Britain, I'm gonna start like, dear Matt, how are you doing? Like, I hope you're doing well. I hope your week started great. It was great chatting to you last week. And I was wondering if I could kindly ask you to provide me with this and that. I hope that doesn't intervene with your plans for this week, and you have some, like, blah blah blah. Like, seriously, if I read this email in America, I'm like, hey, can you please send me that? Thanks, talk to you soon. Like, it's gonna be like 3 lines. In Great Britain, you're gonna go all over the place and write so many useless words and letters. But this is the way of being polite in Great Britain. Again, for Americans, this is a little weird because you spend more time typing. But for British, they're like, yes, this is the way we do that. So yeah, this is the third reason to study abroad. Experience new cultures, like immerse in them. Because if you're traveling, especially if you're traveling and learning a language, if you're taking a language course and staying with the local family, exactly what I'm going to do in the UK. I'm going to stay with local family and I'm going to go to several schools. I'm going to take some classes, mostly to control the quality, and we're also going to visit some student residences. So this is like my yearly inspection, and I'm going to shoot a lot of videos and take a lot of pictures. You can't believe how excited I am. There's also a big conference for study abroad for people like me, for schools. So yeah, this is going to be a business trip, but still, because business is kind of life, it's going to be exciting. Okay, let me look through new questions. Are you familiar with California International University that costs $3,600 a year? This is a little suspicious. Like I'm not sure. Maybe it's a good one, but make sure your visa history is a good one. Your like travel history, because if you travel abroad for the first time with an invitation letter, again, this is my opinion. I don't know, but to my mind, if you travel to the United States and this is your first trip to an English-speaking country, and you claim that you want to spend 4 years studying in a California International University that costs $3,000, which is probably outside all of the rankings, so it's not ranked in any ranking. I don't think so, but I don't know, again. But if it's not, like, if I were a visa officer, I would really ask you, do you really need to travel to the United States to study in this college? Because in your country, I don't know which country you're from, like if you take the best university in your country, it's going to be so much better. Like, why would you travel to that university? I don't know. Like, again, it depends on your visa history. If you traveled a lot, if you've already been to a lot of countries, you can say like, I've researched, studied there, and I think America's the best. But please be careful. I see, because we help a lot of students, and I see so many people who come to us and say they got their visa refused because they applied for some weird college. Like, please be careful. I want to apply for an MBA in business analytics. Got a GMAT score of 680, which is pretty cool, and a Toefl score of 111. Great. What universities would you recommend in the USA? It depends whether you are relying on financial aid or not. But with 680, I would go to top 30 and lower to be safe. You can try like better universities. You can try Duke maybe University, which would be like the highest I would go. And I would also look at the University of Florida, Johns Hopkins Carey Business School, and also like maybe a little low Rice University. Well, Rice is a little high ranking. So I would open US News Business School rankings, and I would go down from number 20 and then down. If I'm enrolled in a master program in English in Europe, do I still need to pass the TOEFL to come to the United States? You know what? Like, this is a great question. So we ask universities, and normally what they say is that they're going to waive your TOEFL if you studied in English in an English-speaking country for more than 2 years. So according to your Facebook, I see that you're probably studying in France, and I would suppose that they're not going to waive your TOEFL. But again, it depends on the university. Sometimes they do, but normally they won't. Normally they would say, if you studied in an English-speaking country, Ireland, Great Britain, Australia, United States, then yes, they're going to do that. They're going to waive the TOEFL requirement. But if not, but again, you don't need to pass TOEFL just to come to the US. You only need to pass TOEFL if you want to study in the US and if you want to do like master's degree in the States. And I wouldn't say TOEFL is like that horrible. If you're like, you would still need an upper intermediate English to feel good in the United States, to feel comfortable studying. And upper intermediate English would, like with 4 weeks of TOEFL preparation, would get you there, would get you the score in TOEFL that you need. So don't be afraid of TOEFL. It's not like a super hard exam if your English level is good enough. Okay, somebody's asking me about studying in Austria. I'm sorry, guys. I am not really familiar with Austria because I mostly concentrate on the United States and Canada. This is like my area of specialization. But I know Austria is not very expensive, and you can study in English. And you're gonna pay like maybe like 3,000 or 4,000 euros. But again, I'm not an expert there. I would Google. I would Google study in Austria. And again, I cannot really assess your chances. The continuation of this question, if she graduates from the university in Austria, she's going to be able to get financial aid in American university. It doesn't matter where you graduate from. What matters is your GPA, GMAT, TOEFL, work experience, volunteer, your resume. There are so many things that we would need to consider to assess your chances of getting financial aid in the United States. It's not like a straightforward answer. Okay, number 4, reason to study abroad. Of course, work on your language. So when I came to the UK, as I already told you, I didn't understand what people were saying. I'm like, hello? I felt so weird. Like, I was studying with other children who were 14 and 15, and because it was a scholarship from my home school, what they've done, they've just put me in a class in the United Kingdom, in Marlborough College, which is the college where Kate Middleton graduated from. So they just put me in the standard class with British children. And I was sitting there, I didn't get, like, I got nothing. They were laughing, they were joking with each other, they were playing, but I wasn't able to participate because I didn't get what they said. And I was like a straight A student. I was so, like, I thought I was so good at English, but the reality was so depressing. And the only person I understood was mother of my, how does it call? Well, of my exchange partner. So her name was Catherine, and the only person I understood was her mom. And I was so helpful because otherwise I felt completely lost. And when we went out somewhere and they introduced me to their friends and their friends started talking to me, I was like, hello, what did you just say? Yeah, that was really funny. But yeah, practicing your language. The best way to do it is to immerse yourself into this language and travel somewhere abroad, take a 2 or 3 week language course and stay with a local family. Like, this is the best. This worked for me for my German. This worked for my English. I hope it's gonna work for my Italian. Because, well, the problem with Italian, I don't really need it. I don't use it at all. Like, there is nowhere I can use my Italian. Because all of the partners that we have in Italy, they prefer English language communications because I think they need it for the history. And yeah, I only need like maybe Italian when I order food in Italy, but we'll see. I'm still really excited. Like, learning languages is my passion, and I think it helps my brain work better. So yeah, let's see your questions on YouTube. Again, guys, if you don't want me to miss your question on YouTube, please click a link below this video and go to Linguatrip's webpage where you are able to ask a question using a social network. Okay, let me see where we stopped. UK or USA is better for living? It depends where you have a job offer. If you have a job offer in the United States, I don't know, like, immigration in the UK is broken. Like, seriously, there is no way you can stay in the UK even if you like graduate from a university there. But if you have, I don't know, a friend there, if you have somebody who can sponsor a visa, it really depends. But like for myself, I've chosen the United States, as you probably know, if that's not your first day on my channel. Okay, how much would it take to learn German A1 level by yourself? I don't know, they normally say it's minimum 8 weeks of intensive studies in a language environment for 1 level. For me, A1, well, A1 was the toughest. Like, A1 took me like 5 years because I didn't want to learn. I didn't want to study. And I think that was the problem. I think if you're motivated enough, you're like, you will get there in a couple of like months, maybe 4 months, 5 months. Anyone here considering LLM in the United States? I don't know. Maybe LLM is a 1-year program to get an international, like a degree in international law. It has been designed in the United States mostly for international students. I'm hearing some echo. I'm sorry. I'm using like a mic. Well, it's not the best mic, but it's better than something that is inserted in my laptop. Okay, I see a question coming from Russia. Do you use cryptocurrency like Bitcoin? I actually bought more Ethereum today. I also have Bitcoin. Let me check. There's this app called Coinbase where you can buy cryptocurrency, but they charge a lot of money for like transaction fees. So I'm researching other options. If you can recommend something else, guys, if you're buying cryptocurrency, if you can recommend any app that is reliable and charges less, because I know Coinbase is reliable. I know the team, they actually work from Oakland in California. But yeah, I have some Ethereum in my wallet. Let me see if I have Bitcoin. Yeah, I have like a little Bitcoin. Oh, I actually started earning on Bitcoin because it grew since I bought it. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. Again, I chatted to people from Coinbase, and they said it's a good idea to like buy some cryptocurrency every week to build your portfolio, because it's definitely gonna be alive in like 3 or 4 years, and you want to have it. So this is what I do. I just every week I spend some extra money that I have on buying cryptocurrency. Let's see. Like I don't invest a lot because I know the market can crash, and this is all like yeah, we don't really know what's gonna happen. Okay, next question, guys. And just to warn you, I can only answer questions in English. I don't understand other languages. I know, well, I won't be able to answer in Russian, and I also see people asking questions, some weird signs that I don't get. I'm so sorry. Want to do a PhD from MIT, please guide. Go to MIT official website, find the program that you're interested in, go to their admissions section. I don't know what else. Like if you had a more subject, like a more specific question. If it was more specific, I would be able to answer. But like just guiding somebody I see for the first time to a PhD from MIT, I would say check out the requirements for the MIT PhD. Okay. Are you going to live in Russia in the future, or are you going to be an American citizen? I don't know what I'm doing in October. Like, please don't ask me what I'm gonna do during my life. I don't know, and I don't want to plan. Like, I do whatever I want right now. I want to travel to London tomorrow. That's what I'm doing. But no idea where I'm gonna end up living. Best country for postgraduate studies. Again, so individual. I would say the United States or Canada. What can you tell about education in Australia? Unfortunately, I cannot tell a lot because I've never researched it. We have some students studying there. We help them with the bachelor's degree. Okay. Your music video "Somewhere Only We Know" was great. Thank you so much. This is one of my favorite songs, and I used to sing a lot when I was a child, like on different concerts. But this was my first time singing since I was 21. So yeah, my first singing like 6 years, and I'm hoping to continue. I just want to figure out how to work with the sound, because what you've heard there was just raw, like my voice with no editing. But yeah, I need to work with different effects. Do you study any language that you like? Yes, I love English. Marina, is GPA 3.5 low for master's degree? I don't think so. It's a good one. 3.5 out of 4. If it's out of 4, it's a good one. Is there a chance to get green card after finishing college? The fact that you've graduated from college doesn't lead you to a green card. But there are other things. There like if you found a job and somebody sponsored your work visa, then there is a way to get a green card. If you get married, or if you, I don't know, consult a lawyer. Lawyers are great. They know which path is the best for you. Okay, I will go to my reason number 5 to study abroad. And this reason is connected with your career. Like for me, if I didn't study abroad, I would probably be sitting in a bank right now and working with corporate clients or maybe do consulting. But I would always think like, someday I will get out of this routine and set my own company. But because I traveled abroad, I think I had enough courage to start before actually going into this routine 9 to 6 career. I was like brave enough to risk. Also, I had a great partner to start with, but also like being abroad, studying abroad, and seeing this free world, freer minds, and people who decided to do whatever they wanted. It helped me start my company. And even if your dream is like to be in the corporate world, which is also great, this means like stability and high salaries, not depending on like what your company is making exactly, because there is salary. So putting study abroad experience in your resume is going to really enhance it. So for example, right now when we are recruiting, by the way, guys, if you're watching this and you're interested in working for LinguaTrip and you have experience to study abroad, which is really important, if you've like the best, if you have worked for an educational agency in your country, we are actively recruiting people from all over the world. The requirement is great English and study abroad experience. And working and study abroad will be the best. So yeah, when I'm recruiting people, I'm like, I see that they've studied in a foreign university. I see that, I don't know, they went to a local school, but then I see that they study abroad in this, and that school, and I know that school, like we send so many students there, or I just know it's a great school. And I'm like, yes, okay, I see this person is actually, I don't know, he actually knows what happens in the English-speaking country. Like he knows what happens in the world because he's traveling or she's traveling, and she meets new people and she can communicate with them because I see she spent like 3 months studying English in the UK. This study abroad experience makes you closer to international community. So I think it's a great chance to to enhance your resume, to get new connections, and to like, yeah, it's better for your career, like 100%. Let me go to other questions. Get new connections and like, yeah, it's better for your career. Hello, Alan says, I'm software developer and I don't have bachelor's diploma. I left university because I didn't need it. Is that a problem for immigration? It's better again to ask a lawyer. For the type of visa that I have, which is O1, I don't think they ever wondered if I have bachelor's diploma, but I know you need bachelor's diploma or you need like some years of work experience for H1B, which is a work visa. You know, guys, any question about immigration, the best idea is to find an immigration lawyer who's going to answer everything for you. And also they know how people, like what are the best ways for you, because they've seen so many people. They've helped hundreds of people to immigrate to different countries. Is 101 out of 120 a good Toefl score to study in the USA? Yeah, I think it's a great score. The highest score that I've seen, I think, is Stanford. Stanford asks you for 109 on TOEFL, and Harvard, this is MBA, and Harvard asks you for 106. But all of the other universities, they don't. So 101 is a great score. I have to listen very carefully to understand British accent. Despite the English I've learned in school is British English. Yeah, I know. You have to listen so carefully, and also the accent is so different. Like if you're in London, there's one accent, and then you travel to Newcastle and you don't get anything. And like your ear has to adapt all the time. And the best country for this, like if you want to work on your like listening, like England would be the toughest country. The easiest country would be Canada, because Canadian accent is a mixture of American and British, and I think it's really mild and really, really easy to understand. And I think it's also common knowledge. I've read some articles that say that Canadian accent is the best to understand if you're a foreign, if English is not your native language. How can I find out my English level? Let me check if we still have the English proficiency test on LinguaTrip. We do, I think. Give me a moment. just gonna check our page because we're changing. Oh yeah, if you go to linguatrip.com, just the starting page, and you scroll down a little, you're gonna find a link which says find out your level of English, and you can start a test. What is great about this test is it only has 30 questions. Of course, it's not like super accurate, but we designed it for you to like be able to assess your level of English quickly in like 15 or 30 minutes, because 30 questions, like a minute each. And then at the end, you're getting like your approximate level, and you're also getting your approximate score on IELTS or TOEFL. It's really approximate, so there would be a big gap because the minimum and the maximum, between the minimum and the maximum that you can get on those exams. But really, go there, go to linguatrip.com, scroll down, find this button, begin test, and find out your level of English. I think this is a great test. Yeah, and I personally worked on it, I think 2 years ago. Time flies. Okay. Your voice is getting echo repeated again. This is so weird because I like, you see, I have a mic here. Maybe since you're on laptop speaker. So my input says external microphone, which is this one. I'm gonna. Oh. No. Sorry, I know. I think it's on. I'm sorry. Let me. Yeah. I'm sorry. It was on. I was just checking the mic. Sorry for the reduce. Yeah, I'm reducing. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, getting an echo. I don't. I think it's just one person who's getting an echo. Okay. Muted. Yeah, I muted it and then I switched it back on. Okay. Who wants to study English on Skype? No, it's okay. Someone's just lying. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes I think like, are people joking on me, like making a prank that yeah, the mic is not working. Okay. Do you need a research paper published to get a master's seat in either Stanford, Harvard, or some other good university? For masters, it is not required to publish anything. You're not required. Just take your GMAT or GRE. If you have some articles, mention them, but no. For master's degree, you don't have to do research. Mute your laptop. Well, I don't use my laptop. What I can do, I can just use my laptop. For master's degree, you don't have to do research. Oh, wow. Hello. Oh, maybe that's, no, that would be weird. Is this better? Or it's getting repeated. Okay. Still echo. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, you hear me now. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. This is the way it works this time. I'm not sure, like, by the way, where I am next Tuesday. Let me check. I think next Tuesday I would still be in London. Yes, next webinar is going to be from London. Isn't that exciting? So you're going to be, oh, no echo. Okay, wow. I'm so sorry. That's really weird. Okay. Understandable. Let me name you the next reason to study abroad. Networking. For me, like finding people that I can hang out with after I leave the country was really crucial. So for example, when I went to Canada, I met a couple of people who we still work with. So they also have like a study abroad agency, and but they're in a different country, and sometimes we ask them to help our students with visas. And I only met them because I was studying abroad. And like building your international network is really important, because you know why network is important? Because sometimes you can get introduced to people you're dreaming of getting introduced to, especially in the Silicon Valley. Like if you know this person, he can introduce you to this person, and the circle closes, you can get to anyone. So building your network and building your network outside of your country is really important. This is the only way to become like a person of the universe. By the way, do you want to become this person who travels all the time, who like changes the place where he lives and speaks different languages? Let me know, like write yes or no, because sometimes people, well, I suppose you do because you're watching my channel, but sometimes I just find people and they say, I don't want to travel. I don't see any point in traveling. Like, why do you do that? I love to stay in my home country. I love to stay at home, and I don't know. I don't want to travel. I don't even have like a passport. I only have my national identity card. And this happens both in the United States. I know people who don't have a foreign, like a passport, so they just don't travel. I know people in Russia who don't have a foreign passport. They just, not a foreign, like the passport that allows you to travel outside of the country. And they're like, they're fine with that. Let me know if you're like, of course, yes. Okay, great. Yeah, because seriously, sometimes I meet people and I'm like, okay. Can we get a vlog from England? Of course you're gonna get it, like 100%. I'm actually taking like 3 cameras with me, and I'm taking a guy who's gonna shoot me. No, not like he's gonna help me shoot videos. This is the right way to say it. He's not gonna shoot me, but I've never seen him in my life, but we worked together for more than 6 months, and he's traveling to the UK tonight as well, and we're gonna meet tomorrow. He's a professional video producer, and he's gonna help me with shooting videos because we're gonna make something for like Lingo Trip as well. And the purpose of this trip, as I said, like to inspect schools, to film them, to do a lot of fun stuff. So yeah. How can I apply for Lingo Trip? You mean for a job? Oh, yeah, I haven't mentioned that. I was like, yeah, please come work for us. Okay, so if your English is great, if you worked for a study abroad company, which is like, yeah, which is, it's a, like, it would be great if you have study abroad experience. Please shoot your resume or CV to cv@lingotrip.com. It's time to sleep for my Korean friend. Good night, Korea. I'm so sorry you're unable to join so late. Yeah, I should have thought about Asian time zone as well. But yeah, when I looked at the channel analytics, I was like, the majority of my viewers are from Europe. Yeah, I haven't thought about Korea because I felt like China won't be able to watch, and then yeah, Korea and India. Okay. Let me think about it. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for staying up till 4 a.m. to watch the live stream. Okay, shoot me. Lingo Trip, do we help with like compulsory admissions package? This is the question. So the guy's asking whether, his name is Katra Gada. If we help people get admitted to master's program, yes, we do. If you go to Lingo Trip, again, main page, and then you scroll down, and you're gonna see higher education abroad, United States, and if you click that, you're gonna see all of the prices and what is included. Like, there is so much information. I can post a link in the chat. It's gonna appear in the chat, like if you could scroll down and look for the link. So I just posted the link in the chat. It's gonna be below. So if you follow that link, you're gonna find all of the information about what we do. And actually, we just hired 2 people to help our students get admitted to American universities. And both, they're girls, and both of them used our help to apply to their American universities. One of them is doing an MBA in the University of Delaware in the United States. Another girl, like that girl got financial aid. The second girl, she didn't get financial aid for the university that she wanted, so she's gonna reapply next year. But I think this is the most amazing thing about Lingo Trip, is that we have people who actually gone through the same experience as the students will be going through. Will you upload this live on your channel? Please do, can catch it now. Yeah, it's gonna stay on my channel for some time. I prefer like to delete it, live streams sometimes later, because like normally YouTube's format is some like a 10-minute video, very like short and very detailed, and but this live stream is like, I'm all over the place answering questions and naming my reasons to study abroad. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it on my channel for some time. Let's see, because one of my streams, which was 2 weeks ago, about how I work on my English accent, and it actually, I think it scored, let me check, I think it scored almost 50,000 views, which is like, it's abnormal for a live stream. Normally, like my standard videos get those that much views, and the live streams like 10,000. Yeah, it's 46,000 views. I'm sorry, I'm like because it's almost 11 p.m. Okay. I went to BWS Termalingua because of you. It was awesome. Oh, you went to WS. Oh, wow. Did you book it through LinguaTrip? If yes, please shoot me an email to workwithmarina@linguatrip.com with a review, like how everything went. That is so amazing. I loved my experience at BWS Termalingua in Berlin. Yeah, and it's also listed on LinguaTrip, which means that if you book through LinguaTrip, you're going to save money compared to booking directly with school. Yeah, let me know. So your name is Beep Beep. Sorry, I don't know your real name. But yeah, shoot me an email to workwithmarina@linguatrip.com so we could publish a review, maybe some pictures. I love reading student stories. Okay. When you open your office in Belarus. Okay, a disclaimer about our company. We're online. We work with everyone, any country, any nationality, any location, but we don't have offices. This is our concept. Everything is online. So I don't think we're going to start an office anywhere in the world. We have like headquarters in San Francisco. We have an office in St. Petersburg, but it's only for employees. And our like people who work for a company, I'm sorry, are located in different countries across the world. Some of them are in the Ukraine, some of them are in Russia, some of them are in the United States, some of them are in Spain, some of them are in Mexico, some of them are in Germany. Loads of them, like seriously. Can you repeat the email address for recruitment? It's CV, like 2 letters, CV@linguatrip.com. You're really doing your best, connecting people from all over the world, shaping the future of education. Hats off. Thank you so much. You know, the key to this, like, to do whatever you love doing, and I just love study abroad and learning languages. That's why I'm like, I love it. Can you respond to me, how much is the Everett flats cost in St. Petersburg? If you're asking about renting an apartment in St. Petersburg, I would say the average would be maybe $500 for 1 bedroom, from $500 to $700 for 1 bedroom apartment. If you're looking for a room, you can find something for like $200, $300 a month, which is, compared to San Francisco, is nothing. Like in San Francisco, you won't find any of those prices. Hi, I'm Diego from Colombia. Hi, Diego. Thank you for posting all of the hearts. Biggest advantage and disadvantage of being self-employed. The biggest disadvantage is that if your business goes down, then you don't have any income. And I've experienced that so many times in my life. When we started business 2011, there were so many years when our business went down and I wasn't able to pay myself at all. So yeah, the disadvantage is actually not being able to pay yourself. And the advantage is freedom. Like, I can work from wherever I want. And for example, today I spent a lot of time, like, because I'm in Russia, healthcare is cheaper here. So I take this chance and I visit like all of the doctors, like dentists and therapists who work on spa. And so I spent some time during the day to visit doctors and avoid traffic. And then I came back home and I had like a lot of consultations and I work in the evening, which is great. And in London, I will be working as well, but I will be in London. So it means freedom to travel and work whatever you want. What about international student loans? You're ignoring my question. I'm sorry, I just missed it. Again, yeah. Oh, by the way, I have to check LinguaTrip as well for the questions. So for regarding international student loans, I would say for the United States, it's a little tough to get them because only top universities provide international student loans, like Harvard or MIT. Is there a scholarship for medicine in the United States? Bachelor's degree, only if you're able to get into top universities like Harvard, for example. What are good scholarship resources for international students who want to study in the United States? University's website. This is the place where you look for information. I'm so surprised there are so many people using VK. I've done LinguaTrip's level and test and found out that my current language is C1. Thank you so much. Great, Miguel. Well done. I'm so surprised you are using VK, which is a like Russian Facebook. Do you have some advice for people who don't really know what they want to be in the future, like job and field of activities? I'm gonna actually film a video about jobs that are in demand right now. I don't think that's a great way to find out whatever you want to be, but it's a great way to find out what's there on the market. But I would say try a lot of things. Try anything that you can. Volunteer. Try to, I don't know, try everything, and then you'll see whatever you like more. I like to get into corporate rather than getting into academia, and I like to do PhD in bioengineering. MBA is a good thing. I'm sorry, I don't get your question. Please use like dots and commas because it really helps structure the sentence, because sometimes you don't use punctuation signs and just unable to read the question. I'm really sorry. Okay. What do you think about internship programs abroad? Is it worth it? I've never done any internship program abroad. I don't know. If you pay for it, I don't know. I'm sorry. Like, I would go to forums and I would research the programs. But if you're doing a master's, then, for example, like in the United States, normally if you do a master's in 1 year, during the second semester, you're going to do an internship, which is a must. Okay, I haven't really finished with my reasons. And I would name like the last one that I wanted to mention. It's when you are applying for a graduate school, they would always look at your study abroad experience as well. They would actually ask you where you've studied. And when I was completing my applications, I mentioned all of the language schools that I went to. And by the time when I was applying to my for my MBA/master's, I've already studied German in BWS German Lingua, the one you went to. One of the viewers went to. And I've already studied in Marlborough College. I already studied in ILAC in Canada. And I've been to the UK several times studying, learning English language, I'm sorry. And I mentioned that. And I think it really helped with my portfolio because, again, this is international experience. And not only you're getting an international experience when you are traveling and studying abroad, but you are also working on your language, which is like, I don't know, 90% of your success is great language. Because if your language is great, that means you're going to pass Toefl, you're going to be able to prepare for GMAT or GRE or SAT, whatever you're applying for. But there is no point in starting to prepare for a standardized test without learning English language, without knowing English language and taking it to the level that you need to really feel comfortable in the classroom. And this is really my opinion on that. Okay. Hi Marina, are you still providing GMAT counseling? As I mentioned in one of your videos, as you mentioned in the videos I saw earlier. I still do private consultations. If you go to linguatrip.com/consult, you can get a consultation with me. It's not just GMAT, it's everything. I don't teach GMAT, but I can definitely tell you where to start and how to prepare. And I do also like university counseling, like which university is the best, how to apply for financial aid, but like all of that stuff. But if you want to consult with a professional GMAT tutor, go to linguatrip.com/GMAT and you will have Michael. And Michael has scored 780 out of 800 on GMAT. He's our LinguaTrip's tutor. He's amazing. Like, he's really, he's a little tough because you need to be tough to teach people to score like more than 700 on GMAT. But yeah. You look so much younger than your age. I thought you were a college student. Thank you. This is yeah, a great compliment. Oh, you mean buy an apartment in San Francisco? How much is the minimum price to maximum price? The minimum price would be, I think you can find something for even like $50,000. An average one bedroom would cost you $100,000, and a good one is going to cost you like, a good one bedroom is going to start with like $200,000, maybe $250,000. I watch you about 30 minutes and you keep ignoring my questions. Guys, because like I just miss them. If you were able to see the chat, which goes like crazy, yeah, I just miss questions. I'm sorry, I just don't see them. Okay, guys, it's 11 p.m. in Russia. I still haven't packed. My flight is tomorrow afternoon. It's actually lunchtime. So yeah, I need to pack. I need to take off my makeup and also make sure my apartment's clean when I leave, because I always like to leave things clean. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, we had an amazing live stream. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I will see you in the next video, which is coming out tomorrow, 6 p.m. Russia, and it's 3 p.m. UK, 4 p.m. Europe, and I don't know, in the States, it's 8 a.m. California time. Okay, and yeah, see you next Tuesday. I'm going to be streaming from London. See ya. Bye-bye.